Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to solve Math Paper 2, Specimen Paper from 2025 for Paper 2. Let's start. So the first question is, work out 0.01 squared. That means you have to multiply 0.01 with 0.01. Now, 1 multiplied by 1 is obviously going to be 1. And then for decimal points, you have to count. So here you have two numbers after decimal point, and then you have two numbers after decimal point. So 2 plus 2 is 4. Therefore, you need to have 4 after your decimal point. So I'll write 0, 0, 0, 0.0. If you count, you have 4 numbers after your decimal point. That's the rule for multiplication. Okay, next question. Write 57.3997 correct to 4 significant figures. This means that you need to have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. So it will be 57.39 only. But if you look, you have 9 right after that. So you need to change number 9 to next one, which is 10. So this is going to be 57.40. Now you have 4 digits. Next, Amy exchanges 250 euros into dollars. The exchange rate is 1 euro is $1.10. Calculate the number of dollars Amy receives. So the first one is to write your ratio. I'll erase this. Euros to dollars. So 1 euro is 1.10, and then you have 250 euros. You need to convert this into dollars. Let us multiply 1.10 with 250. So I'll multiply this, but I will not write the decimal point while I'm multiplying. 1, 1, and 0. This is going to be 0, 0, 0. And then it's going to be 0, 5, 2. And then it's going to be 0, 5, 2. So this is going to be 2, 7, 5, 0, 0. And then if you look, you have 2 numbers after the decimal point. So you need to have 2 numbers after your decimal point. And that's your answer, 275. Now moving on, you have a diagram that has 2 triangles, ABD, this one, and then you have ADC, which is right here. So BDC is a straight line here. AB is equals to AC. So this one and this one are equal. Angle ABD is 61 and angle ADC is 81. Work out angle DAC. So this is the angle that you need to find. Now they just mentioned that AB and AC are equal. So that means if this is 61, so is this. ACD is also 61 degrees. You need to find ADC, which you can easily find because sum of angles in a triangle equals to 180. So DAC, angle DAC plus 81 plus 61 equals to 180. So what is 81 plus 61? Let's do that here. This is 142. So angle DAC equals to 180 minus 142. Let's subtract it. This is going to be 40 minus 2. It's going to be 38 degrees. Next, convert 0.17 meter square into centimeter square. Okay, so I'll write meter and then centimeter. Remember, 1 meter equals to 100 centimeters. Now, since you're squaring these, you're also going to square them. And then you're going to convert 0.17 into centimeter square. So just multiply them. This is going to be 1 square x equals to 100 square multiplied by 0.17. So x equals to 100 square is 100 into 100. So you have 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4 multiplied by 0.17. Now you have 4 zeros, so you need to move this decimal point ahead 4 times to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say, sometimes I get confused with this, so this is what I like to do. I'll just write 0.1700, a lot of zeros. So I'll just move this decimal point 4 times to the right side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to be 1700 centimeters squared. That's your answer. Next, a massive solid metal cuboid is 4 kilograms and the volume is 600 centimeter cube. Calculate the density, giving your answer in gram per centimeter cube. So density equals to mass divided by volume. This is rho, so that's a symbol of density. You might know it if you're taking physics. Now mass is 4 kilogram, so I'll just write 4 kg divided by volume, which is 600 centimeter cube. Now you need to convert from grams to kilograms. So I'm just going to multiply this by 1000, the numerator, okay? So this is going to be 4000 divided by 600. Now let's cancel. So you can cancel these two zeros, and then you can cancel both of them by 2. 2 into 3 is 6, and 2, this is going to be 2. 2 into 2 is 4. So you're left with 20 over 3. We can even write this with decimal points. So 20 divided by 3. This is going to be 3 times 6 is 18. So this is going to be 2.06, 6.66. Now, if you want to know how you can write this as a mixed fraction, this is how you will do it. Okay, you will not write point, you will have a remainder. So you're dividing 20 divided by 6, right? So this is going to be 20 divided by 3, sorry. So 3 into 6 equals to 18. This is going to be 2. So you have 6 on top, right? So you will write 6, and then you will write your remainder, which is 2, and then divide this by 3. So you can also write it as a mixed fraction using this division. Okay, next question is you have two vectors u and v, and you're supposed to find u minus 2v. Okay, in order to do this, let's just write it down. So u is 3 and negative 2 minus 2 into v. Negative 12 and 5, that's our v. So we can write this as 3 and negative 2. And then we can write minus. And then we have to multiply 2 and negative 12 and 2 and 5. We're not taking it as negative 2 because we'll keep negative as is, okay? We'll just work on 2 first. So 2 times negative 12 is going to be negative 24. And 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, now we can subtract this. So 3 minus 24 is going to be 3 plus 24, and that is going to be 27. And then negative 2 minus 10 is going to be negative 12. Moving on, find the determinant of v. So v is negative 12 and 5. So we basically have to square negative 12 square plus 5 square, and then square root this. Okay, so this is going to be negative 12 into negative 12 is 144 plus 25, and then square root this. So what is 144 plus 25? 5 plus 4 is 9. 4 plus 2 is 6, and then 1. So you have square root 169. That is going to be 13, because 13 multiplied by 13 will give you 169. Moving on, you have a semicircle. The diagram shows a semicircle with diameter 9 cm. Calculate the total perimeter of the semicircle. Give your answer in the exact form. This curved length is basically called as the arc length, and the formula for arc length is L equals to theta by 360 multiplied by 2 pi r. So what is our theta? Theta is basically this angle. If this was a sector, this would be theta. Now this is a semicircle, so this is your theta, which is a straight line, so that is 180 divided by 360 multiplied by 2 pi into r. R is the half of diameter, so if all of this is diameter, the radius is going to be 4.5, 9 divided by 2. So let's just write this as 9 divided by 2. So let's cancel. We can cancel 2 and 2. We can cancel 180 and 360. That is going to be 1 and 2. So the answer is basically 9 divided by 2 pi, right? We're left with pi, 9 and 2. So this is going to be 9 by 2 pi. That's your length. But you need to find the perimeter. Perimeter equals to 9 plus 9 by 2 pi. So you can write this as 9 plus 9 by 2 is basically 4.5. So you can write 4.5 pi. That's your final answer. Okay, now you have a sequence where T1 is 17, T2 is 12, T3 is 7, and T4 is 2. So the number is reducing by how much? Let's find out. This is minus 5. This is minus 5, and then T12 to T3 is again minus 5, and then again minus 5. So what is going to be T5? You have to subtract again. T5 is basically 2 minus 5, and that is going to be negative 3. Next, we have to find the general formula. So we can say it's reducing by 5 in every sequence. So we can say minus 5n. And then where does it start? It starts from 17. But initially, let's say it was 22, because 22 minus 5 will give you 17. So we'll say 22 minus 5n. Let's test if this is correct. I will check T3. So I'll write 22 minus 5 into 3. N is 3. This is going to be 22 minus 15. And the answer is 7, so that's correct. So the general formula is 22 minus 5n. Moving on. Okay, so now you have to work out two mixed fractions. Give your answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. Now, in order to add mixed numbers, first you need to make them as normal fractions. So this is going to be 2 multiplied by 3. This is going to be 6, and then 6 plus 2. And then you'll keep the denominator same. So this is 3. 3 into 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. And then plus 3 into 2 is 6. 3 into 2 is 6. And then 6 plus 1 is going to be 7. Divided by 2, the denominator remains same. Now let's make the denominator same in order to add them. So I'm multiplying by 2 and 3. This is going to be 8 into 2 is 16 divided by 6 plus 21 divided by 6. So this is going to be 21 plus 16 is 37 divided by 6. Now let's to convert this into mixed fraction, let's divide this. 6 divided by 37. Remember, 6 multiplied by 6 is 36, and then you will get 1. So the answer is going to be 6. You write this in the numerator 1 and then divided by 6. So that's your mixed fraction. Next, work out the value for 64 to the power 2 by 3. Now this can be written basically as 64 to the power of 1 by 3 multiplied by 2. Okay, I have separated 2 by 3 into 1 by 3 multiplied by 2. Now you have 64 to the power of 1 by 3. If you have a fraction in the power, that means you have to find the root of it. So this is 1 by 3. So this is square root of cube root. This is cube root. And then you have 64 squared. So this can be written as cube root 64 multiplied by 64. You can even separate this. Cube root 64 multiplied by cube root 64. Okay. Now you have to find out what's the cube root of 64. You can say it's 4, because 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4. 4 times 4 is 16, and then 16 times 4 is 64, right? So this is going to be 4. You have 4 multiplied by 4, and then when you multiply them, you will get 16. Next, work out giving your answer in standard form. Standard form means you have to write multiplied by 10 to the power of whatever. Okay, so you have these numbers, 7.1 times 2. Let's multiply these first. So you have 7.1 and 2. Now I will just remove the decimal point, and then I'll add it in the end. So 2 times 1 is 2, and 7 times 2 is 14. Now it was 7.1. That means you have one number after the decimal point. So in your answer, you also need to have one number after a decimal point. So this is going to be 14 times 2 multiplied by. Now you have 10 power negative 15 and 10 power 3. So 10 power negative 15 multiplied by 10 power 3. Now when the base is same, you can add your exponents. So this is going to be 10 power negative 15 plus 3. That is going to be negative 12. Now you can either write it like this, or you can write it as 1.42. Since you're moving it one number behind, you're going to reduce this number. This is going to be 10 power negative 11. So that's your final answer, 1.42 times 10 power negative 11. Next, we have 5.2 times 10 power 7 plus 5.2 times 10 power 6. Now when you're adding them, you have to make sure that you have the same number as a power of 10. either both of them should be 7 or both of them should be 6. So let's make both of them 7. So this can be 5.2 times 10 power 7 plus 0.52 multiplied by 10 power 7. Remember, when you move a decimal point behind, this becomes more positive. So 6 became 7. If you look at the previous example, we moved this decimal point one number behind. So negative 12 became more positive. Negative 12 plus 1 is negative 11. Okay. So now you can add them. You have 5.2 plus 0.52. You have to make sure that the decimal points are aligned with each other. Okay. So you can even add a 0 here. So 2 plus 0 is 2, 7.5. So this is basically 5.72 multiplied by 10 power 7. This remains same. 10 power 7 remains same. Next question, find the number of sides of a regular polygon. The formula for interior angle is this. Interior angle equals to 180 n minus 2 divided by n. So if you plug in the values, this is going to be 162 equals to, you need to find n, right? So 180 n minus 2, we can expand this. 180 n minus 360 divided by n. Let's move this on the other side. 162 n equals to 180 n minus 360. So 360 equals to 180 n minus 162 n. So what is 180 minus 162? This is going to be 18. So 360 equals to 18n. N equals to 360 divided by 18. This is 1, this is 2. So you'll get 20. It has 20 sides. Now the range, mode, median of 5 positive integers are all equal to 10. Find one possible set of these numbers. The range, mode, median, and mean of 5 positive integers are all equal to 10. Find the possible set of these 5 integers. So basically you have these 5 numbers and these values are all equal to 10. So you need to, by trial and error, try to identify those 5 possible values. So let's start with the median. It says the central value is 10. And then you have 2 values on either side. So these are your blank values, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the number here, to find the range is 10, right? So the smallest minus this number is going to be equals to 10. So let's call this 15 and this would be 5, because 15 minus 5 is going to give you as 10. So you're done with the range, you're done with the median. Mode means the number which is most frequent, so you have another 10. Let's call this 10 as well. And then the mean is also 5, so let's find the mean. 5 plus 10 plus 10 plus x plus 15. This divided by 5 equals to 10. So if you add them, 5 plus 10 plus 10 plus 15, you will get 40 plus x equals to 10 multiplied by 5. We brought this 5 over there. So this is going to be 40 plus x equals to 50. So x equals to 50 minus 40, which equals to 10. That means this number is also 10. So we can say 5, 10, 10, 10, and 15. You might need to do some trial and errors, maybe when you are trying to identify the range and all of that, but you will get it with some practice. Fully the single transformation that maps triangle T, this triangle, into triangle A. Okay, so you can notice this triangle has basically rotated clockwise 90 degrees because it was like this, and then now the base is exactly it has rotated 90 degrees. Rotation 90 degree clockwise through 4, 3. Now how can you find that is 4, 3? To do that, the easiest way is that you keep your tracing paper on top of it, and then roughly try to decide where will you keep your point. Where would the center be? According to us, it's going to be here. Okay, when you will rotate your tracing paper 90 degree clockwise, you will see that this object will come right on top of this image. That means it's correct. 4 to 3 is the point. Next, a student measures the height of each of the 400 plants. The cumulative frequency diagram shows these results. Now use a diagram to find an estimate for the median. To find the median, you have to divide 400 by 2, which is 200, and then find the corresponding height for that. So if you find the corresponding height for 200, the height is 30 centimeters, so the median is also 30 centimeters. And then to find the interquartile range, you have to first multiply 400 by 75%, 300, and then 400 times 25%, that is going to be 100. So you need to find the corresponding numbers when the frequency is 300 and 100, and the corresponding numbers are 35 and 15. So you can subtract them. 35 minus 15 equals to 20. So 20 is your interquartile range. Next, you have to find the 80th percentile. You'll have to multiply 400 multiplied by 80%. This is going to be 320. Find the corresponding number at 320. It's over here. That is 39. Then at the number of plants with a height greater than 60 centimeter. Okay, so that means the height should be greater than 60. So this is height 60 over here, and then find the corresponding number. So subtract 400 from 364 minus 364, you will get 36. Okay, moving on. The heights are also shown in this frequency table. Complete the histogram to show this information. Now you need to find the frequency density. So let's find the frequency density. Frequency density is frequency divided by the difference in the range, by the difference between two numbers. So it's going to be 120 divided by 20 minus 0. This is going to be 6. And then you have 80 divided by 30 minus 20. 80 divided by 10 is going to be 8. And then 124 divided by 10. This is going to be 12.4. And then 76 divided by 40. That is going to be 1.9. And this is how it would be. You have 6, 8, 12.4, and 1.9. So that's your frequency, that's your histogram. Okay, let's move on. So now you have a circle. I need to find some angles. So the diagram shows a cyclic quadrilateral. A cyclic quadrilateral means you have a quadrilateral inside a circle and it has certain properties, which is AB, ABCD. Angle BAD equals to 74. This angle is 74, and also AD and AC intersect at X. AC and AD are intersecting at this point. Then angle BCA equals to 34. So you're supposed to first find angle BDA. BDA would be here. You can say it's obviously 34 because angle in the same segment are equal. So this is 34 and this is also 34. Then find angle BCD. Remember, in a cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles equals to 180. So 74 plus x equals to 180. So x equals to 180 minus 74. And that is going to be 106. So BCD is 106. That means this entire thing is 106. Now find angle ABD. This angle, simple sum of angles in a triangle equals to 180. So 34 plus 74 plus ABD, and then you'll get the answer. 180 minus 74 plus 34. That is 72. Okay, in the diagram, triangle ADX is similar to triangle BCX. Work out XD. Okay, so you can say ADX is similar to BCX. And then the first length that they gave us is BC. BC is 4.5. So what is the corresponding one for BC? This is the first two letters. So it will also be the first two letters. Divide this by AD. They are corresponding to each other. And then they gave you AD. So you already have AD there. And then CX is 3.3 centimeter. So last two letters are CX. So this would be DX. And then you can divide CX by DX. Let's plug in our values. BC is 4.5 divided by AD is 9. This equals to 3.3 divided by x. So 4.5x equals to 9 times 3.3. X equals to 9 times 3.3 divided by 4.5. Remember, the half of 9 is 4.5. So 4.5 times 2 is 9. We can make this as 1 and this as 2. 3.3 times 3.3 times 2 is going to be 6.6. So that's your answer. Okay, now we have functions. The first function is find f of negative 3. That means you have to plug in negative 3 instead of x. So f of negative 3 equals to 3 minus 2 of negative 3. This is going to be 3 minus 2 into 3 is negative 6 minus 6. So 3 minus minus becomes plus. 6 plus 3 is 9. Then you have g of negative 3. That means in g you need to plug in f of negative 3. So here you will remove x and add f of negative 3. Let's do that. So g of f of negative 3. This is going to be 2, and then instead of x you will add 9 plus 3. 18 plus 3 is going to be 21. Find inverse of f. Okay, just make instead of f of x, make y as the subject. Y equals 3 minus 2x. So now you have to make x as the subject. Y minus 3 divided by negative 2 equals to x. So you will remove y and write x there. So x minus 3 divided by negative 2. You can also write this as 3 minus x divided by 2. We just switched the numbers. Find x when g of x equals to 7. So what is this is g of x. So you have 2x plus 3, right? So instead of x, we will write g of x. What is g of x? Is 2x plus 3. 2x plus 3. This equals to 7. Can we simplify this? This is going to be 4x plus 6 plus 3 equals to 7. 4x plus 9 equals to 7. X equals to 7 minus 9 divided by 4. This is going to be negative 2 divided by 4 equals to negative half. Find x when h inverse x equals to 5. So h of x equals to 2 power x. Now they told us that h inverse equals to 5. So we can write this as h5 equals to 2 power 5, which equals to 32. Simplify square root of 32 plus square root of 98. Now you cannot directly simplify them because these are not root numbers. You cannot do that. So let's see how we can do that. 32 is 4 multiplied by 8. 8 is also 4 times 2. You can do this, right? You can you can square root this. This is square root 4 multiplied by square root 4 multiplied by square root 2. So that is going to be 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by square root 2. So this is going to be 4 into square root 2. And then plus cube root square root 98. 2 multiplied by 49. So you can write this as square root 2 multiplied by square root 49. So this is going to be square root 2 multiplied by 7. So you will have 4 square root 2 plus 7 square root 2. Now you can add them. 7 plus 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 square root 2. That's your answer. Next, rationalize the denominator. That means you have to multiply it like this. Square root 2 minus 1 divided by square root 2 minus 1. So if you multiply the numerator, you will get square root 2 minus 1 and then multiply the denominator. So you will have square root 2 times square root 2, you will get 2. And then square root 2 times minus 1, you will get negative square root 2. And then you're going to repeat this with the second number. 1 into square root 2, this is going to be plus square root 2, and then 1 into negative 1. This is going to be negative 1. So you'll have square root 2 minus 1 divided by 2 minus 1 equals to 1. So the answer is square root 2 minus 1. That's your final answer. Now y is directly proportional to 1 over square root x. When y is 8, x is 4. So you can write this as y equals to k multiplied by 1 over square root x. So y is 8 equals to k divided by x is 4, square root 4. And then you will get 8 multiplied by square root 4 equals to k. So that is going to be 8 times 2 because square root 4 is 2. 8 times 2 equals to 16. That's the value for k. So now you know the value of k, and you need to find the value of y when x is 49. So let's find out. Y equals to 16 multiplied by 1 over square root 49. That is going to be 16 divided by 7. You can simply write it like this, or even as a mixed fraction if you want. Now, in this question, all the measurements are in centimeters. Okay, the height of the triangle is h, and the height of the rectangle is h plus 2. The length of the base of the triangle is x, and the length of the rectangle is x plus 1. The area of the triangle is 11 centimeters square, and the area of the rectangle is 39 centimeters square. Write down an expression in terms of x for the height of the rectangle. Okay, so they told us that the area of the rectangle is 39 centimeters square. Remember, area equals to length times breadth. So area is 39 equals to, what is length? It's x plus 1 multiplied by h plus 2. So now we know the height is h plus 2, right? So we can just make h plus 2 as a subject, equals to 39 divided by x plus 1. So that's your height in terms of x. Because you need to, it says in terms of x, that means you need to show x in your final answer. Next, show that 2x squared minus 15x plus 22 equals to 0. Okay, so we know area, what's the area of triangle? Area equals to half BH. So the area is 11 equals to half times x times h. So this is 22 equals to xh. So we can say h equals to 22 divided by x. So h equals to 22 over x. Now we can replace this h with 22 by x. So this is going to be 22 by x plus 2 equals to 39 over x plus 1. Now we can make x as a subject, like we can make the denominator same. So it will be something like this. 22 plus 2x divided by x equals to 39 over x plus 1. Now we can multiply them like this. So this is going to be 22 plus 2x, and then x plus 1 equals to 39x. So this is going to be, you need to put a bracket here as well. Okay, and now we'll simplify this. Now we can move this 39 on the left hand side. So negative 39x plus 22x plus 2x, and then you're left with 2x squared and 22 plus 2x squared plus 22 equals to 0. Now let's rearrange this. So we can write 2x squared first, and then if you add these, you will get 15. 15x plus 22 equals to 0. Next, find the exact value of x. Okay, so here you have a right angle triangle. This is hypotenuse, this is the opposite, and this is the adjacent. Remember, if you have a and h, so you'll use cosine. Okay, so remember, cosine 30, the angle is given, equals to adjacent 8 over hypotenuse, which is x. Remember, cosine 30 equals to square root 3 by 2. You need to learn them. This equals to 8 over x. Let's cross them like this. So this would be x equals to 8 multiplied by 2 divided by square root 3. So this is 16 over square root 3. Next, write as a single fraction in its simplest form. To do that, you have to make the denominator same. So we'll multiply x minus 4 and x minus 4. And on the other hand, we'll have x plus 3 and then x plus 3. So this is going to be 3x plus 9 divided by x plus 3 and then x minus 4, and then on the minus 4x minus 16 divided by x plus 3 and x minus 4. Now let's join them together. So you'll have 3x plus 9 minus, now remember this minus is not just for 4x, it's for 4x as well as for 16. Okay, so minus 4x minus minus plus 16 divided by x plus 3 and then x minus 4. Let's simplify this more. 3x minus 4x is going to be negative x, and then 16 plus 9 is going to be 25. And then you can keep it x plus 3 and x minus 4. So you can write this as 25 minus x over x plus 3, x minus 4. Next, write x squared minus 4x plus 7 in this form. Okay, so we need to identify k, which is the coefficient of x. So this is negative 4. Okay, then we have to half it. K divided by 2 is going to be negative 2. And then you have to square this. K by 2 square is going to be negative 2 into negative 2. I'll just move this here. This is going to be 4, right? So we can write this as x squared minus 4x. And then we got this 4, right? So we'll add and subtract this. I'll write plus 4 minus 4 plus 7. Now you have to factorize this. Now you have to add the constants and combine them as in this form, okay? But how do you know whether you have to take plus 4 or minus 4, and how will you do it? So you can write sum and product. So the sum should be negative 4 and the product should be also should either be 4 or negative 4. Let's try to start with 4 if you're getting the answer. So 2 multiplied by 2, let's call it negative. Negative 2 times negative 2 will give you 4, and negative 2 minus negative 2 is going to give you negative 4. So that means when you're using positive 4 here like this, you will be able to factorize this. So this would be x squared minus 2x minus 2x plus 4, and then we can add these constants. Minus 4 plus 7 is going to be plus 3. Now we can take the common numbers out in these two. So we'll take x out, and then you will have x minus 2, and then you want x minus 2 again on the second side, so you will have negative 2 out, and then you're left with plus 3. So you can write this as x minus 2 plus 3. This can be written as x minus 2 whole squared plus 3. Now you can identify a and b from here. So a is 2 and b is 3. X minus 2 squared plus 3. Write down the coordinates of the turning point of y equals x squared minus 4x plus 7. You will write 2 and 3. A and b are the coordinates. Next, you have two shapes which are mathematically similar. The area of the larger shape is 36 centimeters squared, and the area of the smaller shape is 25 centimeters squared. The height of the larger one is 9 centimeter and the smaller one is x centimeter. Find the value of x. So area is 36 centimeters square and the height is 9 centimeter. On the other side, you have the area of smaller one is 25 centimeters square and it's x centimeter. Now before we can cross multiply them, you have to make sure that the units are same. So we'll just square these. So this is going to be like this, okay? So we can multiply 36 multiplied by x squared. Now we are cross multiplying them like this, equals to, so 36x squared equals to 9 squared multiplied by 25. So you can make this as x equals to 9 squared multiplied by 25 divided by 36. So you can now you also have to square root this. So this can be written as square root 9 squared multiplied by square root 25 divided by square root 36. So square root 9 square is just 9, okay, because you have square root as well as square, multiplied by 5 divided by 6. Now you can cancel 9 and 6, so this is going to be 2 and this is going to be 3. 3 into 5 is 15 divided by 2. That's your answer. Next, you have this line. You have a graph. F of x equals to x, x plus 2, x minus 3. On the diagram, sketch this graph for y equals f of x for -3 to 4. Show the values of the intersection of the with the axis. Okay, so you can identify, you have 1 2 3 x, you have 3 positive x, so you will have a positive cubic and you'll have 2 turning points. Okay, so something like this. So you need to identify what is that point, what are these points where your graph is intersecting the x-axis. Okay, so at that point, remember, x is y is 0, so you will have to identify at which points are you getting with y is 0. So first, if you have x as 0, this is 0, you will get 0 because whatever, this is 0 plus 2 and then 0 minus 3, you will get a 0. So first point is here. The second point is if you take -2, so this is going to be -2, and then -2 plus 2 will give you 0, so 0 into anything will become 0 as well. So we'll take -2 here, 1 2 -2. So the graph is going to be intersecting this here, something like this. The x-axis again, so that would be 3, because if we take 3 here, 3 minus 3 will give you 0, and then whatever you multiply it with, you will have a 0, right? So we'll just move this up, something like this, and this is 3. So that's your sketch. Then you're supposed to expand and simplify. That's basic expansion. Let's do this. X squared plus 2x, and then you have to multiply this with x minus 3. So expand it like this. So this is going to be x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2x squared minus 6x. Okay, next question. A is the point 1 and -6. Let's identify it is if this point is on this graph. So your x is 1. Let's take it as 1 plus 2 and then 1 minus 3. So this is going to be -6. Okay, so this is a point on your graph. So yeah, if you have 1 and -6 here, that is going to be your point A. Now, the tangent to the graph of y equals f of x meets at A. So if you draw a tangent here, it meets the y-axis at B. So if you draw a tangent like this, you will get something like this. This is your point B. Okay, this point is point B. Find the coordinates of B. Y equals f of x is this curve, and then the tangent to the curve is this straight line. Let's find out the equation for the tangent. So that is going to be the gradient. So dy over dx of, we can find the gradient of this equation. This is going to be 3x squared minus 2x minus 6. Okay. Let's find out the value for dy by dx, which is basically m, the gradient. Remember, at this point, x is 1, right? So we'll take 3 into 1 square minus 2 into 1 minus 6. This is going to be 3 minus 2 minus 6 equals to -5. That's your value for the gradient. So now if you write your equation of line y equals to mx plus c. Now you need to find the value for y-intercept. Y-intercept is basically the point where your line is meeting the y-axis. Remember, at B, it's meeting the y-axis, right? So you need to find B. What is the value for y? It's -6 equals to m is the gradient, -5 into x is 1 plus c. So -6 plus 5 equals to c. C is therefore -1. So you can say what is the coordinates of B. The x-axis is, the x value is 0 and y is -1.